any lower. Oh.
All right. Looks like we are live. So let me get the
Ooh.
pop out chat so we can get this thing rolling, dude.
Where is the link so I can send it over to our um, Arizona friends?
What's up?
Where'd you post the link?
I posted it on you talking the live the Twitch thing? I posted it on the main group. People
Okay,
will
cool.
join. People will join in and they'll ask us questions. We can
Nice.
answer that. But until people do join, let's go ahead and get some introductions. Who do we have with us today? I guess from my screen, left to right, it's Pizza King, then Rob, then Legends, and then myself. So we'll do it in that order. So I'll let you guys start the intro. Oh, now my order just changed. That's funny. But we'll keep it. We'll keep it. We'll keep it like that. Sounds good, man.
Go, Jared.
What's up?
Hey, yeah, my name's Jared. Yeah,
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Met in many woods. Hey, I'm Rob Decoste. Yeah, I guess.
My boy's chowing down over there, B. He can't even
Yeah,
speak.
Ooh.
Legends. I just came back from the gym, guys. Sorry. What is Legends?
right.
Fresh from Gen Con. Nice to see all y'all.
Congrats on the win.
Yeah,
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
okay.
My boy went ham. What's up? It's your boy Eddie. We're coming at you again. The boys want to do team talks, and luckily I was off today and tomorrow. That's like a twist. I'm never off, right? But we actually have free time, so I'm like, hey, let's just do it. They wanted to do it after Gen Con, so here we are. So we have a couple of topics today. I'll let you guys pick what order you guys want to order or which subject you want to touch on first. You guys want to touch on Gen Con? You guys want to touch on the Dragon Ball Fusion Worlds slash Masters? You guys want to talk about next set? What do you guys want to talk about first?
Hmm.
Let's do some celebrating. Let's talk about Gen Con, because that was a big moment for a lot of us. Well, with
I
top.
think we should do that anything but first. Let that man enjoy his dinner.
Okay,
My
fair
boy
enough.
is
You're
chowing
right.
down. My boy is
Let's
chowing
just
down over there.
throw it all in your mouth real quick so we can get you to talk on camera. uh, that's funny. Ooh, how about new set then?
All right, that sounds good, man. I'll let you guys take it away because I did not look at any of the cards, man. So
No,
what look
Hey,
did you see? What look did
same.
you see?
I've been kind of excited.
I lied.
I don't
I
know
did see
what.
those Broly cards. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah, dude.
incidentally saw those Broly cards because people want to play them things on Untap. So I did see what those cards do.
I definitely misread the leader at first, like we all do, and thought like when Broly swang, like when any Broly was in combat, you couldn't activate a counter. So I was like, oh my god, this deck is insane. You can't
Yeah, he's a
counter
bush
anything,
rider.
And then my friend Daniel was like, it's only when you attack battle cards. I'm like,
Yep,
oh.
yep, yep.
So slightly worse, but I mean, just before we started the chat here, we were working on just like a little search Broly list kind of a deal, kind of looking and seeing if there's anything there. And but I think these cards are pretty cool. I think this set is like pretty solid.
Mhm.
Anyways, I mean, it's no like Green Gohan blow your mind kind of a thing, but like the cards have been pretty good, especially those black cards. The last couple days, the Fu archetype and black gets barrier removal that's not leader locked, and I mean that's massive for the game, right? Like we've been waiting for stuff like that. So I think it's pretty exciting, but I don't know if anyone else has a favorite color, and I think we're getting Gogeta tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Blue Gogeta. Yeah, I'll
Blue,
build off that. I'll build off that. I thought the Foo stuff was really exciting. It's like the first time in the history of the game excited for black color in the
right?
game. Yeah, it looks like it's a really well done version of like Dark Brawly.
Mhm.
From what
I
it
miss
looks.
him.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to actually put that deck together and see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Are they done with the reveals for the next set?
We have blue left. Should be this week. The next
It's just blue?
4 or so days. Blue and then the SCR, which I think we're due for a blue SCR. So I'm gonna. My guess is like it'll be like a Gogeta SCR, and then that'll be the God Rare. Because I feel like the 2 SCRs that have been revealed like don't have a God Rare kind of status. Except for maybe that Gohan extra card, but like that's not really a card character, right? So it'd be kind of weird. But that's my guess. Is like a Gogeta SCR and then God Rare version of it. Maybe it'll be like Gogeta 7 again. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We don't want that. No thanks.
We have that. It's cooler.
Yeah. It's turning the tide and it sucks. Okay, so ban it. But yeah, I think blue for the next 4 days, and then we're done. And then the SCR.
And then if it's not this set, I'm pretty sure I'm willing to bet if the God Rare doesn't come out this set, it's gonna be the next set, and it's gonna be a Goku, Black, Rietze, God Rare. I'm calling it now.
Oh, that would be beautiful for yellow.
No, it's
pretty
gotta be
cool.
blue.
It's gotta be blue. What, you don't want to give support to the Wish Zamasu deck?
Yeah, but we already had a yellow God Rare, right? So.
True. That's true. That's fair. So
without.
What about you, Jerry?
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Favorites?
I haven't seen any of the new cards, to be honest. I've seen a little bit of the Broly stuff because I've tested with you a little bit. Besides that, I have no clue.
Fair enough.
So without blue being in the picture, what stood out to you guys? Like as, hey, damn, this is like an actual contender going into next set.
Oh, that's a good question because I don't know.
That's a Robert Decoste only question. Much like Jared, I don't look at any new cards.
Yeah, me neither. I don't look at it till the ban list comes out. Cause I feel like people play test and do all this stuff, and it's like you just wasted like half your life away because it doesn't work. Like I'm being honest with you, like. The only reason why I know some of the cards because on Untap people play them. I'm like, here we go again. Like they're just assuming the format's gonna stay the same, and I'm like reading as I'm going. That's the only reason why I know some. Because the only decks I played against was, I guess, Broly's the only thing from the new set. I lied. There's Goku deck too. I guess there's like yellow Goku. So probably also seen that a lot too. But I'll let you talk about it.
I'm like, okay. So previews for me are at 7 a.m. in the morning, right? I teach early, so I have like a 0 hour that's at 6:25. So like after my 0 hour before first hour, I'm like on the phone, like, oh my god, what's the preview every day? Because like I just need like a break in between classes. So for me, like previews are such a huge deal. I love them, and then I'll read them real fast and not understand them, and I'll just kind of figure it out. So I think Green Broly is fun. For sure, I think there could be something there because the cards are generic enough that they work with other leaders and other archetypes besides just the Green Broly we have. I was rereading. Okay, I'll admit, like Red, the Dr. Hedo. I like. There was so much text on the card, and it was all like, if you have Gamma 1 SH and Gamma 2 SH and Gamma 1 SH is in play and Gamma 2 SH. I was just like, I give up. I'm tired of reading it. I just like literally just breeze past it. But the Gohan looks kind of interesting. It's like an evolve chain, but doesn't evolve into the 8-drop. It's a total separate thing. So you only go up to the 6-drop, and then you play the 8-drop separately, which is kind of weird. The yellow cards are super cool though. The Grandpa Gohan Baba? That archetype looks super cool. You look at your opponent's deck at the top of their deck, and then you rearrange cards, and then you leave them there. You don't shuffle them, and then your cards say like, look at the top card of your opponent's deck and say a number, and if you got that right, then do this effect. So it's kind of it's really cool because for a yellow deck, I feel like if you have a really good memory, you'll always know what's in your opponent's hand, which is incredibly relevant as a competitive player. If you know what your opponent has at all times, it's going to be really hard for them to outplay you. So I feel like that's going to be like a more skill-intensive yellow deck. The cards aren't like super powerful, but we all know yellow is like the most generic color in the world, and you can just do about anything with yellow. So you can just control their hand in what they draw, and then curve out to Golden Cooler and win the game. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking to Robbie about that this weekend. he did bring up the Baba stuff. If any of it's generic, that's gonna be really really strong actually. If
Yeah.
you can control the like, if you can keep pushing their best card to the third card of their draw, and like they don't play like natural cantrips, and not like if you look at like Green Cooler or Green Gohan, like that deck draws like 2 every turn maybe. So like they'll just never see that third card.
Right.
Little stuff like that seems really really busted actually if it's generic at all.
Yeah. I think there could be some potential in the yellow archetypes, and I gotta hand it to Bandai. They did a great job of balancing the Kid Goku because everything pretty much says like non-ape leader, which means that you can't play with the starter deck stuff. But I won't lie, like the SRs are super good, and yellow has a unison removal period, and it's a common. Not hard to play, and it just says, "Oh, remove a unison that costs 2 or less," which is also it's a 5-drop Kid Goku from the new set. Let me see if I could pull it up.
You don't have to pull it up. What does it come in for? Because you said a 5-drop. What does it cheat itself in for? What energy?
2.
I think it cheats up for 2.
With the
I think it cheats. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
now
it
you can
seems
pull
to
it
be
up.
like-
Now you can pull it up.
it seems to be Bandai's trend actually. They started with Black Smoke, right, and then Blue got one, and now Yellow's getting one.
I know it's maybe backwards. It's kind of hard to read. There you go.
Yeah.
Also, I can pull it up so I can put it on the screen.
Yeah. The Son Goku Intense Headbutt cheats out for 1. It cheats out for 1, not for 2. But you do have to have 4 energy. Oh no, I lied. 4 cards under your Baba's palace. So it's archetype specific.
So activate limit 1 to 0 4 cards on your function. Baba plays card. That's a lot of text, my man. Damn.
It's a lot.
Cards nowadays, man.
Sheesh.
It's a lot of text.
It's almost too much to read.
Yes, that's how I felt about the Gamma cards.
Yeah. At this point, I just tell my opponents, if it's not killing me, I believe you.
Yeah. But I think cards like that, this 5-drop Goku, are like the right idea, right? It's archetype specific. Is there a way to cheat it out? Maybe in other decks, but it's got barrier, not deflect. But it's got like really good removal for the archetype. So the archetype can actually like compete, right? If and 2 energy unisons are still somewhat relevant in matches, right? I see green playing a lot of Bardock, the paternal unison, the one that doesn't let you combo. A lot of green players are playing that right now because the card is really good. And if you're not green and removing those markers immediately, then you're losing to that unison a lot, right? Or yellow still plays the Vegeta unison that says you can't swing with things greater than your energy, etc. Right? So it's not like unisons are completely gone. But so I think the yellow cards are pretty neat, and then the obviously when we started, the black cards are just fantastic. This set, I think the Fu archetype is going to be something to really look at and consider because there's going to be a lot of versatility with that, with Black Saiyans and the Fu cards just seem really good. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And then I know that we're getting blue, and I think it's blue yellow because when I saw a preview of the blue extra card, it had a blue yellow cost on it. So and then the Veku, which is in the TP packs, is also blue yellow, which is coming out this set. There's like a 5-drop Veku I think that we're getting. So I think blue yellow is going to get some support, just like red green did for Broly, which is kind of neat to see. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We got 4 days, right? And then 1 more SCR, and I'm hoping it's a good one. that Umber SCR was absolutely snapped. I really did like that card too. Just life regen on a stick.
How do you feel about the free plus 20k super or not super secret?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who was I just talking to? Someone was telling me, maybe it was Robbie in the chat. I don't remember exactly. There's some, there's going to be. It was Dane. Dane and I were talking in the tournament over the weekend, and he was saying that there's some really good like application for a card like that, especially in aggro matches. Which honestly, like, it might strictly be better than. What's that?
Which card are you referring to?
This is the new red SCR, the zero cost SCR.
Oh, the
That
Rage
like
so-
Ranger? This guy, Bursting Rage.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's colorless.
It's red.
I mean, red.
Colorless. Yeah, it's red.
Yeah.
It's red. It's like the
Yeah.
red slot, but it's as neutral as it gets, right? No color restriction on the card. Z awakens you, 20k boost, gives you. I don't remember. It's a lot of text. It does a lot of things, right? I think defensively it's good because it lets you Z awaken for 2 turns, essentially, right? Your turn, your opponent's turn, and then your turn. Because the Z Awaken goes away at the end of the turn, but it ignores all the effects of the Z Awaken, right?
Let's be real.
So,
Do you think it's actually going to get played over other Secret Rares?
I
I
don't
just
think
glanced at it real
so.
quick. I mean, it's a great
Yeah.
card, but like for a Secret
I
Rare slot,
don't
you guys think
think
it's
it
going to get
will.
played over other Secret Rares?
I think it might have like a niche thing, right?
There's
But
gonna be
like,
some cool combo deck with it, I'm sure.
yeah,
I see it being another budget SCR.
Yeah, it
That's-
just seems like a budget, I guess, hatch for like so you just don't die. I mean, it gets you back to your next turn, right?
yeah,
There's no kill
You could see
potential
it
with
that
this.
way, but you could also. That's not true. You could see it as a way to add Z Awakens to leaders that don't have them. Like Golden can now Z Awaken to the swap leader. Soul Striker can Z Awaken early if it needs to. Or like other Goku leaders can Z Awaken. Even the Drip Coup can Z Awaken now into like the Spirit Bomb Coup for a couple turns. And now you can play some of their engines. So now you can start mixing engines. So I think this card's going to open up creativity for those deck builders that really want to get wild and come up with some really cool like gotcha combo. But it's hard in like today's decks to argue that it's going to take place over like Pickle Han or like Beast Han or like Android 21.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to take over one of those really powerful tempo swing cards.
Unless
But
you
I'm
have
sure
an
somebody
ultimate
will break
defense like Golden.
Yeah.
I think Golden could like the way you just said that, it makes sense. Because this, like, I mean, if you take it on your SR, right, that means you have like the ultimate defense and somewhat you could clap back without having interaction with your opponent. Like maybe a unison based deck, because all floodgates is what just battle card heavy right now. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you can make decks into other decks.
Mhm.
So I think
There was-
that capability is cool.
there was a silly combo idea. I think it was Dane's he was like, you could on your opponent's turn as SS3 Goku, play it, Z awaken to the 7 to the 7 Kuzi leader, and then on your turn charge the 7 because you don't have the permanent, and then go turn in the tide. And I was like, that is ridiculous, but like also I absolutely love that idea, right? You know, it's
It
That's
did
pretty
just on
funny.
your opponent's turn though, right? Like I thought that was like they made sure to prevent that. Otherwise, it would have been like sick.
I haven't read the card recently, but my understanding is that
Let's read it together,
the
guys.
Z
All right, I vote
like, at
anyone
the
but
end of
me.
your turn. Go for it.
Yeah.
Who has
I
that?
thi-
Who has
I
that
think if the
angelic
car-
voice? It's on the screen. Who has that angelic voice, baby? That's a lot. This is like being in a classroom. And the teacher's asking who wants to read the next paragraph.
I don't even know where the card is. I can't even find it.
Yeah,
It's right
I
on your
can't see
screen, my
it.
man. Right on the screen on Discord. Zoomed in and everything, man. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half lines of text, baby.
I definitely can't.
I don't see it. Where?
Yeah, I can't see
You
it.
guys don't see. Oh my god, I'm tripping. My bad.
Yeah, bro,
My bad. Hold on 1 second.
Oh.
I am
I'm like,
tripping.
where's the card?
Yeah, I'm tripping. I thought I was screen shared. My screen is not shared.
We have
Alright,
an
now
actual teacher in here.
continue.
You can just read it.
My bad. Continue. I've been opening cards left and right in front of you guys, thinking my screen was shared, but it's not. But it is now. Go ahead. Like I have the Goku you're talking about on my screen. I'm like, you see, this is the one he's talking about, but hindsight, it wasn't open. All right, so continue.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Let's see. Let's read it.
You're the teacher. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Oh God. The big thing is the Z leader removed at the end of your turn. So
That's
if you
exactly
Z
why
awaken
Dragon
on
Ball
the
players misread cards. All right, I'll eat the bullet on this one. Ultimate activate battle. Draw one. Choose up to one of your leaders with its back face up. Place up to one of your Z leaders from your Z deck with 20k power or less and exactly the same color and character name as a chosen card on top of your leader. Then choose up to one of your leaders and it gains 20k power for the battle. Additionally, if your leader is a Z leader, your opponent's battle cards and unisons can attack for the turn if they have 25k power or more. Then you remove your Z leader from the game at the end of your turn. So hold on.
I think
At the end of my
that
turn.
last clause is important there.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's not
actually
permanent.
important. It's end of your turn. No, but that's actually good that it survives to your turn.
Yeah.
So you don't really
That's
want to
actually
use it
weird.
on your
Plus, and
turn.
then you get
want
the
to use it
untap 3.
It's a defensive card then. Use it like from
I
that
think it can be.
last line, just like how Robbie said, right? You mainly want to use this defensively then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The way I'm reading
then you
it.
get it on your turn for a combo play.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I think it could be good in some decks, right? You know, there's some practical application here, but who knows? That's one of those things you're just gonna have to test endlessly, right? But like, again, I think what Legends said is true. Why would you want to play this over Beast Gohan A21?
Yeah,
You know, Gohan
pick.
pick, right? But I love this design. I love the idea of Ultimates being more utility and less I just win the game. Because nothing feels worse than Jared drawing Android 21 for the 15th time in a row and just playing the card and beating me in every test match that we possibly can play. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? My bad, Jared. But like, you know, when you play an SCR that just completely blows out your opponent, it's just not a fun situation. So I like utility SCRs like this. But again, I'm a competitive player. I would never play this over something that is strictly better, right? Unless it had a real legitimate practical application in the deck that was going to get you a win. like charging the 7 in SS3 and turning the tide on turn 4. You know, maybe something like that, right? But that's neither here nor there. I like the card. It's cool.
It's cool card. Cool card.
It's pretty.
So I think we should move off this next set because I hate looking at new set cards without the ban list with a burning passion, especially when the rest of the set isn't revealed yet. So, but that card is cool, as you said. I'm not gonna lie to you. Reading it actually made more sense to me. What do you know? So let's talk about. We'll say the best for last. We'll say Gen Con for last. Let's talk about Fusion Worlds. The very, I guess, controversial topic going around right now in the Dragon Ball community card game. So, what do you guys think about it? Thoughts, takes? Oh, just in time.
I was gonna say,
Like,
there's the guy.
Perfect timing, Robbie. All right.
Sorry,
I keep myself because Robbie turned in just
nope.
in time when I what do you guys think about it? So we are hitting the controversial topic on Fusion Worlds. The split between Dragon Ball, man. And then I'm like, so what do you guys think about it? And then ding ding, Robbie joins. The other Robbie joins. So perfect
What's
timing,
up,
man.
Sorry, yeah, I was doing my Lorcana show.
Oh, you're golden, man. So what do we think as a whole on Future World? I personally think it's good. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'll let you guys. I'll go last. I'll let you guys talk about it first. Let's go ahead, Rietze. Let's hear your thoughts, man.
Man, jump in. I gotta already be the
Go
wow.
Ahead. Yep.
That's
It's like when you're late to class.
I'll be honest. It was
center,
it was the best news. We sold 2 golds this week.
Nice.
Like gold cards don't move quickly unless there's a lot of hype. And same thing with silver and stuff. Like there have to be people who pay attention to Dragon Ball, and then that's how I can always know. Like, market goes up, market goes down. It's hard to sell these things, right? And then that's why we're always buying. But I always can tell how much publicity the show's doing by how many DMs I get asking about the expensive stuff. People are like, "Hey, what can I get for this?" Either buying or selling. And there was a lot of excitement this week. So I thought it was just all good. Like, I was just telling people, like, hey, if you're dumb enough to think that a new app coming out and a easier version of the game is bad publicity, I'll buy all your stuff at the sky's burning prices. No problem at all. But no, this is all good news. And then the fact, if you guys remember, this is going all the way back to 2018. The reason why Dragon Ball did not renew their previous contract was Panini, and then they tried to charge them more money. Was they wanted to use a new card game to promote their TV show because they thought that was the best way to promote the TV show. And then Dragon Ball is supposed to come back allegedly in 2024. And then suddenly you find out, hey, look, wow, Dragon Ball wants to release a dumbed down version of our card game to get people to play our card game in 2024. Kind of sounds like that rumor is like pretty solid now, you know? So I'm excited. It's pretty awesome. And then it's the fact that they're trying to make a Masters in a lower version. I like that. Like, because I can't teach anybody how to play the game.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
Really quick
definitely
before the
tough.
next person goes, I completely forgot to look at the chat. So the Pac-Man special says, "Yo, what's good? What's up, Pac-Man?" Mr. Bitter Vegeta says, "Baba is a nightmare fuel on webcam for and against my guess." Yeah, that does make sense. That is true. From what Ravi said about looking the top cards of the deck on webcam, that is going to be sus. For I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, that's the story in its whole self. Yep,
What
that is
what card
true,
is
my
it?
man.
I'm totally not looking. Yeah, right.
I just realized that, like, bro, man, that comment took me out. And the Pac-Man special says it's a 17 card package for the deck. He also says so you have to have 33 to 35 of the best yellow cards in that deck. Sun Gohan, that the deck he's talking about. And we also have Mr. Bitter Vegeta says ain't nothing wrong with talking about the new cards. Yes and no, right? It's always cool. It's always hype to talk about the new cards, but when you don't have all the cards that are officially out yet, you tend to think like, oh snap, like this red deck is busted, this Gohan deck is busted, and then the last reveal is blue and it completely dumpsters the red card. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have all this wasted time practicing on a deck that's never gonna see the light of day, especially when the ban list comes out. So, all right, back to our thoughts on Fusion Worlds. Who is next?
I'm hoping that it'll funnel more players into the game, but I think ultimately it just depends on the pricing for both games. Because if they make the pricing better for Fusion Worlds, I think you can just get a lot of our players just playing that.
Yep.
So they have to actually make good pricing for the Masters.
Yeah.
So if they want to funnel players into the game.
Did the prizes improve for next? Like, I know set like the regional prizes for 1 was amazing. Then regional set 2 kind of sucked unless you got first. Congratulations, Legends. And now set is the final season. Did it improve again, or is it bad again?
Negative. Same as 2.
I think tough to say. They surmounting rate. You got Sensu Bean and then something else. I forget what the other one is. I think the only one that's going to be worth anything is probably surmounting.
It's the red yellow counter. What's that called?
No, I didn't mean those. I meant the like intrigue because that's like the biggest factor, right?
Yeah, it's just as bad as season 2 in my opinion. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which ain't sad because I'm like I could finally play 2 and 3, but it's pointless because it's not anywhere close to season 1. I'm trying to pull it up.
I just bought the Brawlies today and it hurt.
Archetype cards. Like we got a Pepperoni support card. Like who wants U3 support? Like I'm not flying to Tennessee for U3 support, right? You know, like
hey, don't give away the spice, man. That's what me and Michael are building for Tennessee. That's the deck.
I do think, all right, real serious talk. I do think that Kale, the 7-drop Kale we got from this set, is criminally underplayed and underbrewed with. That thing is like incredibly good as a 7-drop bomb, and then it untaps a mana for you at the end. Like it's so good. Plus, it's like a way for blue decks to play around Jiren, right? People are gonna always hold up Jiren, and you just slam that instead.
Until your opponent taps 1 from Utaito, and then you just spend 7 energy on nothing. You know, besides, if it were on play, I'd be all for it, but it doesn't have deflect or barrier, and it's on swing, and it kills me. I want to play it. I want to play it, but pay 7 counterplayed for 1. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. I was talking about that too, actually, because I was brewing Trunks with that card. I was just thinking about it. Like we joke about that, but like there aren't actually many counterplays in the game that'll hit it currently, right? Like we were joking about Mutaito, but like Blue's never gonna like sneak out a 7-drop. They're actually gonna tap 7 for us. You can't get Mutaito. Jiren is a terrible answer. It's really just green that answers it, and green answered like turning the tide anyway. So like it's not the color you're gonna play it into. I don't know. I'll come back with actual hard data once I try it out. But I really do think that card's nuts. Not just trying to like create like hype or something, but I think the card's
No,
nuts.
He's bought 72 copies of it. It's the most popular.
It's a 6-card swing. I mean, it's a 6-card swing. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Here it is, Eddie. Yeah, perfect. So we get the same stuff we did before.
Except we don't get an uncut sheet anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
bro. Like,
no, screw down.
You get a box, bro. Like season 1 was insane, bro. Like, oh my god,
Scroll down.
There's
a new uncut sheet. I thought they had a.
Nah, they stopped that.
Oh,
Took it away.
I think season 2 was only like what first, second, right for uncut.
Yeah.
I think it's gone, man.
Yeah.
You get a nice box. Bro.
That is whack, man.
Like, you get a nice box, B. You don't even get a playset of the old
on
arch no more. You get ×3. Like, damn, bro. Like,
whoa,
you don't get a playset no more, dude. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you.
Oh
like,
no.
You do get a playset. You get a playset. So
yeah, you
other
get
playset comes in top 16. My bad. So that's how they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what they're doing.
I still hate the fact that we play a Swiss tournament and it's not a top 8 prize out because it's just like, why is there no difference between 16 and 4, and why does the guy who comes in 4th with the same record as 5th, like why is there a difference between that pricing? They both went X1.
Yep.
Like they should.
I'm the opposite. I love it. Like I love.
Yeah, like I'm on the same, but I love it. But I only love it when you're playing out top 16. So I feel like when it's just cut to standings, yeah, you're just like you just got wrecked, bro. But I feel like you
fun. Like I like,
dude. You know what I'm saying?
Like, don't get me wrong. I got my butt kicked this last regional. I think that's the worst I've done in a while. Apparently, yellow aggro is not a good idea right now.
What'd you play? Oh, you played Mahjong?
I played Mahjong. I went to turn 7 like every game. I was like, I don't even know if turn 7 exists. Yeah, like it was not what I'd call a very good time for a lot of my playing. But I will say, like, it was like I didn't make any money, obviously, but it was more exciting to me. Like, you know, like I don't like it when it's just like, all right, yeah, guys, you showed up and that's enough. Like I like the you have to do well to make money and do a lot, and I think that's fine.
I think Robert's point was actually lost. I think what he's complaining about is what I have a complaint about, is that there's no top 8 prize out as well.
I don't think
like you see like that
bro.
break. What?
I think like
there
literally
should be a difference between 16 and 8.
No, I mean yes. I think the problem is it's not that, bro. I think the problem is the way they cut to these like standings, right? It should be instantly you play out top 16. I think that's the issue. They're not playing out top 16 for first.
See, second, I would do the opposite. I would love to see you only get an invite for top 16. Mm-hmm. That is your prize, right? And then top 8.
Absolutely nothing but a handshake and see you at Nats.
Yeah, like that's because that was the point of like when we used to have that and there wasn't pass downs. Yep. That was genuinely exciting. Like I went to like 5 regionals my first ever. Like what was that 2019?
Yeah, the second season of Dragon. That's how it was. Like if you top
that was terrible.
First round, you just got an invite, bro. Like if you won that first round, you started a plus. Like every win you get in top cut is just more profitable, and it makes it more competitive, in my opinion. Versus I got spanked in top cut. Who cares? I'm walking out with this. Like, nah, fam, walk out with an invite. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
All right, well, then we're all on the same side, like different sides of the same coin. We're all just saying like it should be more prizing how you go up.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I think there's no. I'm saying is I think there's plenty of prizing. I just would like I would take away more of the stuff that we do give out to make it, because part of the reason there's not as much value in the prizing is you get so many of the promos just for signing up, right? Like an in-person regional, what did I get? 12 packs, right?
I think so, more than that, man. You get 4.
Yeah, like you get so much stuff ahead of time that it's like, I don't know, like at some point you have to make stuff scarce if you want the value to go up. Otherwise, like everybody has it.
But in this situation, I think my point and I think Legends and I are and this is I think what we're both kind of agreeing on is that. Because it's Swiss and there is no top cut, it's very disparaging going from top 16 to top 4 because the people in 5 through 8 have no say over that.
Oh, you're all
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying.
They get the
That's
same record,
there's no top cut.
but they get dogged on because they had what some asshole decided to. Sorry, I don't know if it's a PG stream, but like someone decided to just like go X3 and drop because they wanted to spite you, or
wrecked, yep.
you just you didn't get lucky enough to play against good enough players. Like, come on, that's insane.
Mhm.
Like,
That's
maybe
true.
if online regionals were like X1 get a prize, X2 get a prize, but then in-person regional has the top cut. So then make it more competitive and have it be that tiered system where every win that you get something more, right? Top 16, then top 8, then top 4, then top 2, then blah, blah. But like this system right now just makes it feel really bad when you go to the top table or you lose round 6 and then you go X1 and then you bubble out of top 4. Because
Do we get that event that's coming up in Tennessee again? Do we get to play it out again? Because that was actually really fun.
You get to play it out.
Yeah.
It's top cut.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
in-person events are a top cut. Same thing with South
Why
Carolina.
wasn't Gen Con then? Just
I don't
'cause
mean to rub this in the wound, but like Jared, that literally happened to you on Sunday, right? You lost round 6
Yeah.
and then you finished 5th.
Yeah. Just got out.
Right? What was the point of playing all day? If
Oh
you,
yeah, I felt bad.
right? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's a bad system. This 16-4 kind of a thing. I'm speaking only for online events, right? For in person, there should be a different price structure because you're literally flying somewhere to go and play. Like there should be something a little bit more motivational. But I mean, that's just
I think we need another serialized card for sure.
Yeah,
I know for
Besides the Goku.
I think for One Piece. Yeah. Besides the Goku, I know for One Piece, for webcam, it's top 2 for a serialized card. For in person, it's top 8. So they kind of like increase the number if you go IRL. So yeah, I'd like to see better IRL pricing and another serialized card. I think we need another one.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I mean, it does seem weird. I think I talked about this at Gen Con with you guys, but like we got our cereal first, but we don't know if we're getting another cereal. But One Piece got theirs after us, and they already are going to be handing out Shanks, and it's like, and the same amount we're giving out, like, it's less exciting when it's a $800 card, but it's hard because I didn't make money this event, and I still had a blast. So like, part of it is also like we're just playing cards for a hobby. Like I know that part always gets forgotten. But like I still finished the event and I still had fun. And like, don't get me wrong, it didn't feel as good as winning an event. But like, and I didn't like having water thrown on me. That was weird.
What?
What? Hold on, pause.
And the
What?
people at the back tables got attacked with water. At some point, some guy just walked by and just like threw water at someone.
Oh, he was
And then like a full
cosplaying to
table.
him?
No, like just out of nowhere. And then the judges were like, "Go take a walk." And then like all these people had all their water, like covering all their cards and damaging them. And I borrow my decks, and the judge who was at the event was like looking at me, and I'm like, "No, you're fine. Relax. It's okay. Your cards aren't damaged."
Wow, that's interesting. All right. So
we're talking about Fusion World, which is where this conversation started.
No, that's what I was gonna say. A topic that just hit me on Fusion World. How do you what do you give to incentivize players to play Fusion World, like the newer players, right? Besides being able to learn the game, because price support. I'm thinking maybe you can give exclusive cards that'll help you strictly for masters. But then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, you can't really do that because then all of us are just gonna play Fusion Worlds and then boot out the newer players from joining. But I'm like, it can't be any weak price structure because that's gonna incentivize anyone from playing. So what do you guys think they can do to prize wise for Fusion Worlds to be successful? So I think any card game, that's the biggest thing in order to judge its success is the actual participation and pricing support. So what do you guys think would be helpful for Fusion Worlds?
I mean, they would just give pricing that's based for their game, right? Like you would get cards and product for Fusion World. I don't think there has to be a marriage between the two games, other than the fact that they share the same IP. And I think just sharing the same IP is good for both games. Like people will try the first game, and then if they get bored of it, then they'll be like, oh, maybe they know there's another outlet for another game that has similar mechanics but adds more, right? I think that's always been the draw for this game from like ex-Yu-Gi-Oh players. This game just feels like Yu-Gi-Oh, but like more controlled pace. Or like, and then like if you have new people that are getting into like Digimon and One Piece, like those communities are starting to get bored with their games, and for appropriate reasons, right? So like Fusion World is a similar game to both of those, and it's just like another way to like cross that bridge if they want to add a little bit more complexity to what they're doing.
Okay.
I think that's well said. And to add on, Eddie, what you had asked about the pricing, I think Bandai could even go so far as to really push the physical card game into the digital. So, like, you could easily have like incentivized pricing. Like, if you do top X, then maybe you can get a code that will give you a special skin for your online cards, right? I know like WoW TCG back in the day was really big on the loot cards. If you bought WoW TCG cards, you can get a loot card, scratch the code, and then you get that item for your online World of Warcraft character. So I think with a physical and a digital platform, they really want to push the digital platform by encouraging our in-person players to play. So you can get really cool exclusive pricing from one to the other that translates, right? And my guess would be online tournaments would be vice versa. You'd get physical product as well as online product for your online victories. So I think there could be some really cool overlap for there. But I agree with Michael on what he said. Like, it's mostly just going to be really good for us to have kind of like an outlet or an avenue for players who get bored, or they say, "Oh, I want something more challenging than Fusion World," because it doesn't look like it's going to be challenging, especially if you play card games. It'd be an avenue straight to Masters, right? And just start picking up Masters and dabbing into that. It's like the professional version of the kiddie card game Fusion World, right? I don't mean it to sound negative, right? But like it's just how I looked at it anyway. So I'm plus for Fusion World. That's my vote.
I'm gonna expound on that. Like, this worked out really well for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh released like Duel Links a couple years back, and that was really well done. It bolstered the real Yu-Gi-Oh community, right? And then they released something called Speed Duel after that, which also bolstered the real Yu-Gi-Oh community. Both games are kind of died out. Speed Duel is completely unplayed now, and Duel Links has like a cult following, right? But what both games did for real Yu-Gi-Oh is they got people into the feeling of playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Holding those cards, seeing the IP, and be like, hey, I really want something more of this. So I think that at the very least, if Fusion World doesn't take off as its own game, and I hope it does, right? Like, if it doesn't, at the very least, it will bring in like interest into Masters.
Yeah, I mean that's really all we need is like you just need new bodies. Like how many like although it's a good thing, I felt like I knew every person at Gen Con, you know? Like, and although that's cool, like I don't feel like there was a single new player there. And I know there actually was a few because they were from my whatnot. They, and like they joined from our streams. But we need new blood. So whatever it takes to get new blood, because like, it's just always the same people in top 8. It's always the same people in top 16, the same people in top 32, and the same people who sign up to drop.
You know what was cool though? We had 2 concurrent events for EVS Saturday.
God.
One at Gen Con physical and one at Gen Con online, and together they eclipsed like 350 players. Like, that's really cool. 350 people signed on to play Dragon Ball, like, for their day all at once, and that's just people that were able to do it that Saturday. That's so cool to me.
Yeah, that's not including all the judges that it took to run both of the events, and a great sign, right? Still play this game.
Eddie's dying in his room.
You love the response, Robbie. The people who signed up to drop killed them.
I mean, it's like you always see those names, right? Like you see the people who are like
that comment, bro. I was dying. Robbie, what did you say? It's the same people that. Never mind. Continue. My bad. Continue.
I mean, it is though. Like, it's always, like, hey, as somebody who just went 4-3 at an event, I get that it sucks, but like, I get the same messages from people being like, "Oh yeah, man, I got an unlucky pairing. I went 0-2 and I dropped." And I'll get that like 3 times a year, and I'm like, "Well, man, you get some unlucky pairings, a lot." Only want those sweet promos you get for signing up.
I'm sure that's how a lot of people felt when they sat down against Mike on Saturday. Oh crap!
Yeah.
You
See that I was ready for. I was like, I can handle yellow.
Literally never have anybody happy to sit down across me. It's actually kind of a bummer.
You guys want to know the trick when you play Legends? You just gotta have a conversation with him, bro, and he loses train of thought of every single thing. He's like, "Oh crap, my bad." Have a genuine conversation with the man as you play, bro, about life.
He'll let you know if you're winning or
conversation,
losing.
forget every
Like
single trigger. man.
the less he talks, the more you know you're losing.
Yeah, no
And if he
lies.
starts talking, he's like, "Oh, okay, I've lost this game.
Yeah.
I'll just talk."
You
It's
have two
fine.
people telling you the trick, bro, but no one's gonna do it anyway, so you're good, man.
I mean, I gotta say, I was happy to sit down across you at Worlds, but then I wasn't happy when I lost that die roll because I was like, "Uh-oh." He's like, "I have to go on." I'm like, good game."
What a
5
terrible
minute
format, though. Yeah.
Oh, that was
horrible format.
Oh,
I will say so what's cool about it is I don't think for Fusion Worlds you actually need to have any OP. Okay? And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna base it off of Lorcana. Okay? People like IPs and they want to play games and they want simple. Lorcana, I purposely didn't like read up a bunch of the rules, do a bunch of research. I didn't even know all the cards in the set. I wanted to go to the demo, get the full experience of like learning the new game, and then play in the event. And that kind of turned out a little bit to be a bad idea because my opponents were very try hard, and I barely beat them in the final round. But I did, yay! But there was so many people there who didn't know how to play board games, they knew how to play board games, they didn't know how to play card games, and they just wanted to play a game. And then they didn't care about the prizing. And then Sunday when they had the special event, there wasn't any special prizing. They just were like, "Hey, you get like 3 booster box equivalent of like a fat pack in Magic." And that was it. And everyone was actually excited about the product, like Legends Legend. There wasn't special promos, there wasn't gold cards, or like the first ever Lorcana poster, or anything wild like that. It was just people who wanted to play the game, and for the most part, like that's who made day 3 too. Like a lot of the tryhards didn't make it because the game is so simple, you can't screw it up. All your cards do is they activate on your turn, and for the most part on your opponent's turn, you just sit there. And then they tell you what they're doing, and then you take your turn again. And like people generally were just on their phones and like texting people waiting for their turn to be over. Because it's Gen Con. It's hard to get a hold of people. You're doing your food orders. But I really liked that attribute. And so I think if you have that for Dragon Ball, like a lot of people used to pick up the game. Like we used to have new players. I could not imagine how to try to teach someone about combat, counter skills, Z extra, Z battles, Z. Are we getting Z unisons yet? Is that a thing yet? Like the amount of detail that's there, you have to have someone who's already invested. And I think this will get you that point where you're like, "Oh, I like Dragon Ball." And then you get good at Fusion Worlds and you're like, "I would like something harder." And then, yeah, you come to our side. So I think you could just make what are they calling it? What's the Fusion World? Is that the full title? Like they're not calling it like lower league or anything?
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, then I think you could just have that and like no prizing. I bet you it'll probably sell for a few sets just fine.
That's true. You could just have booster boxes for prizing, just like at the beginning of every card game.
Yeah.
Like
I think you
booster boxes for the real Masters League. Ooh, not bad.
Good. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We'll just I'm hopeful. I know I'm typically like optimistic as a person, but like I'm pretty hopeful like this is going to be a really positive thing for our community. I know that we've had a lot of doomsayers and people just kind of panicking overall, and I get it, and I think people who are mad about how they announced it have every right to be upset about how they announced it. Sure, they hyped it up to be something, and then people were just let down because it wasn't what they wanted. Okay, cool, be upset, fine. But like, I think one of the biggest hurdles is going to be when we start getting new players. Our community needs to be receptive and welcoming and loving, and we all know that that's not always the case sometimes. And so, I think we as a community need to be like the peak example of like a good community who's not going to take a dump on someone because they don't know how to play masters yet, right? Kind of a deal. So that's going to be a big hurdle in its own way, you know. And that's a very broad statement.
All right, so I saved my thoughts for last on Fusion Worlds. So I think it's both good and bad. I hate to do that. I hate going both sides, but I'm gonna explain to you my two trains of thoughts on it. Right. My first train of thought is it brings more traction. It lets players. It's a gateway to players. Now, with that being said, I wish it was our actual game, just without certain cards like Unisons, like our actual base Dragon Ball card game versus the new stuff they're trying to do. You can redesign how the cards look. That's really cool. All that good stuff. But like I hear what going second, you draw two, charge two, something like that.
No, you get a coin, which I think our game should have gotten from the
You
beginning.
get a what?
Oh, you get the Hearthstone coin?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart.
So
I think that's
elaborate,
so
elaborate.
good. You get a temporary extra mana that you can use if you're going second.
You see, and
Like an
I'm
extra
fine
energy.
with that if they
Yeah.
change that for our game. Because
I
I think
agree.
like if that's the entry point into our game, why not just make it identical? You see what I'm saying? Even if it's next set, you want to introduce that where I'm fine. I'm cool with all the changes and all that good stuff. My thing is make it identical, but take away the complicated parts, and it starts to build on later as the game goes on. As Fusion Road goes on, maybe next time, hey, introduce counter plays. I think that's the biggest issue for people. People nowadays still like I'm talking about known players still don't know their counter windows. I'm like, bro, it's super simple.
Could
Like
you
if it's the right
imagine though,
skill,
like,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like slowly build it up because like the way that game is going, it's fine and dandy and all, but I don't see how it's gonna be a gateway into this because number one, those cards don't do anything that these cards. They're brand new cards. They're different cards, and the way you play that game, it's the same concept, but it's not the same. So that's my issue with it. I like their thought process, but I think you got to sync the two games. Not like the card pool wise, but at least like, hey, next set, guys, this is really popular in Fusion World. So whatever you said, it's a coin. So in next set, we're gonna do that. If you're going second, the way to make it even, you get to charge two, something like that to keep it on point. So all they have to do when they jump over, if they feel like jumping over, is just learn the cards that are in the master set. And then
I mean, you'd have to make it like it. That would be a lot harder in our game because of ramp effects. You'd have to make it like colorless, right?
Yeah.
Because could you imagine how bad it would feel if you're
oh, just
like,
the colors
you know,
energy.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I agree
if
with
you're
that.
like Beerus gets to go second. They get to swing into you. They draw their card. They combo. They get to go into their Z deck, play the Whis, accelerate. Like that's gonna feel really bad. And same thing for Android 21, I guess too, right? Like
Yeah, you
anything
literally
you
were just ramp turn two.
yeah, you're just like,
You
oh,
get
cool.
punished.
Like,
You get punished
yeah,
for
like
going first.
I think those kind of mechanics I think are good for games that are simple, but like we have such complicated things where I would like to see just I was hoping the announcement and I was wrong, but I was hoping the announcement was going to be rotation. Where like like Zenkai was like a significant block, right? Like and it's a huge card pool. If you take out Zenkai cards, you lose 90% of the unisons. Okay. And you don't think about it, but unisons is actually where a lot of the problems happen. Where like there's certain interactions, like some guy he won with set one Frieza. Still, that's pretty wild, especially with some of these unison tricks and stuff. Where like they're just it's too much put together. Unless you're just going to ban all kinds of leaders and all kinds of interactions, you have to have rotation at a certain point. I know Dragon Ball has pushed it back. And they're always like, we're not going to do rotation yet. We're not going to do rotation. We're not going to do rotation. At a certain point, though, come on. Set one Frieza is still the best mana maker in the game.
I
And I
think
hate the
their
deck.
idea of rotation is Zenkai. How did they do this Zenkai format? It's only if your cards got support, or like how did or they did just let you rock out with
Yes.
any
Play
deck you wanted
anything.
to play.
It was just a different name for the same kind of tournament.
So they let you play
Yeah.
anything pretty much.
Yeah.
For the fun format, though, it had to have been printed either in a starter deck
Yeah.
or in the Zenkai
The current
series.
set, or you had support to an older deck in order for you to
Well,
play.
no, so yeah, you had to have a certain amount of the
Yeah,
cards,
15 of the
but
newer
then
cards if you're being supported
yeah,
by an older, like Zamasu. Since he was an older leader, you just have to have 15 of the newer ones, which were that in itself was like problematic. So I could just put, okay, cool, just 7 Z cards in there, and it's like, well, just need 4 more. It's like that was weird in itself, but yeah, it's
Now,
hard, man.
Robbie, maybe we could put our tinfoil hat on for a second here because one thing I noticed with the previews this next set is that they all have a 2 in the bottom right corner, not a 1. And so I'm starting to.
That is true. That is true.
And
Oh,
like,
I don't. Hold on. Let me see. I'm making a deck right now. I want to see this.
go look.
They do.
Oh yeah, I see. It's a
I
big
think there
2.
might
Like it's
be
a very
something in the
notable
works.
2.
All right, there might be something in the works that they're
And
planning
there's
for
a
that.
big 1. I never even noticed the 1.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Of course, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might be getting some kind of soft rotation, maybe, or something in the future. I thought a rotation was going to come too, and I was really hopeful for it. Like maybe just get rid of everything. Like
See, I'd love
IU.
it for Nats. Could you imagine that for Nats? Like that would be really good
That would be a hell of a
because
shakeup.
other.
That'd be horrible.
Oh,
Well,
what I would
That'd be a
love
hell of a
is that
shakeup.
like a day 1 rotation, a day 1 block, and a day 2 block that are different. So you have to bring 2 different decks.
Yeah,
You know,
see,
like
I would.
really
That's
challenge
what
it.
Versus used to do that, where like you did 3 rounds of one type of deck and then another. Like it's normal for a pro tour. I'm guessing Bandai, if they're making a new game, they're not going to shake up things too much like that.
Why not Fusion World for 1 round? Like whatever you just said, you
Oh.
split it. Why not? You
Yeah,
just said it. You literally
Let's
just
not
said
get
it,
to
Robbie.
that. Yeah, let's not.
Different game.
Let's not. Don't put that idea.
It's the
I
same.
don't.
It's the same IP, just different card game, baby. You know what I'm saying? You just said it, Robbie.
No,
The
God,
first 3 rounds, Fusion World. All right, you got out the simplistic rounds. Later in the round, we're going to Masters,
I mean,
baby.
but that would be
That would
fun
be
if
cool, in
you
my
could
opinion. That
go.
would be cool, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But you could do
All the
like
pro
golden,
players just get eliminated for dice roll in the first 3
you
rounds.
could do a golden format for like the final 3 rounds, and then like a block format for the first 4 rounds,
Yeah.
or whatever we're calling Zenkai.
Something
That would
like
be
that. So
think about it, like a deck like Gohan Green is partially so good because of older cards. Like, let's see, I was just looking up the second place deck. I'm reading this King Vegeta deck card that you can't play, right? And that's like a huge tool, right? Decks like he was playing Wicked Saiyan SCR. You don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? You have to play the stuff that's for your, your deck. Like, I don't know. I just really like that idea of simplifying that part of the game a little bit. But I'm going to play Dragon Ball regardless of what it is. Like, I tried to tell myself, like, I want to play One Piece, and I enjoyed playing One Piece. But it's not the same feel. Like, it really felt like in One Piece, I don't think you can catch up. Like, it doesn't feel very skill intensive. It just feels like, all right, cool, I'm ahead. I stay ahead.
Block format's tough. It's tough in this game because of how powerful some of these set 1 cards are and how reliant some decks have become on it. I think that like the color that always suffers from block format is blue, right? If you think about how broken D Magic is, and then to make something like block format, you would have to create a card that's similar to D Magic, but then not allow both of them to exist in the same deck for like golden format, whatever you would call it.
Isn't D Magic specifically in the Goku Black deck, which has been printed in Zenkai?
Okay, but that's exactly how they'd have to do it. Like you'd have to allow cards that have been reprinted in starter deck specifically like that, and that alone is hard to remember.
Yeah. Well, but they have ones on them now, so that's I think that one has a. I think that card. They don't.
No. So anything that's been reprinted in current product is just the same like printing as previously.
Yeah, honestly,
Rob, have ones on them.
Look on the screen. It'll show you right on the screen because what Eddie's mirroring here shows you like the top row cards have the little bubble in the top right corner, and then all the reprints don't have it because they're pre whatever Bandai the little
right
dot.
Yeah, these right here.
Yeah.
So like the older cards, even though they're being reprinted, they don't have them. It's just the newer cards from the Zenkai.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, you need some way to do it. I got no clue.
Yeah, so they just have to solve that, like if they want to make. But like that is one of the challenges.
I think they solved it. They just ain't tell us yet because that's not random, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge. I noticed the 1 and 2, dude. That's huge. Like I'm looking at right now at this ridiculous. If your leader is green, your opponent has 3 or more energy. You can just play this card for 1.
I like what Robbie said. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was really interesting because if you take what Robbie said and the first 3 rounds of Fusion Worlds, that lets the newer players jump straight into a tournament with us. It's
Well,
like,
no. I didn't say that. I want
yes,
to
you
put that
did.
again. I never said we
but
mix and
but
match
it's
IPs.
perfect though because it's like, yo, you can take brand new players and
No,
experienced players, and it's like, hey, it's fair game, baby. It's basics, and
no.
it.
If you do the opposite and you keep it just in the game, like Versus did that to survive, right? And it lets you bridge the gap to make people happy, right? Because you got to appeal to somebody who doesn't want, like, let's say Legends hates the idea of block format because it's too aggressive. Okay, you can't play control. And then I want a block format because I'm sick of playing control for 7 rounds. We both get to have 4 rounds that we want, right? And then we have to kind of like suffer through the rest, and you're bridging that gap because a new player can do better in a block format, is my opinion. Like when we were talking about cards, I just did a stream for Lorcana, and we were talking about Dragon Ball. And while we were talking, I was citing the different cards that are similar in Dragon Ball, and people were commenting. They're like, "Well, how do you memorize those?" And I'm like, "Well, I've been playing for what, 6 years now? Yes, I know all the cards accidentally. I don't wish that's where my brain had like that's a useless amount of space. But if you're coming into the game, could you imagine right now to try to learn 6 years worth of random cards? Like Charismatic Villain, I just saw this weekend and I forgot about that card.
Yeah, I can see your point there. Although, like, Yu-Gi-Oh has the same problem, right? And it's just players will only learn, like, what's current at the time, right? Like, Yu-Gi-Oh has thousands of new players every year, which is mind-blowing to me because that game is not my cup of tea. But, like, and they play with cards from set one, like Raigeki is back, right? Like Dark Hole is still in the game, and those are cards from like when we were children, like actually infantile. Change of Heart is back in the game. Harpy's Feather Duster is available. Like any old head in their 30s knows these card names, right? And like the new players that are coming into the scene, they're not gonna think to put these cards in their deck. But what they're gonna see are like people that are successful with those cards, and they're gonna see these lists, and they're gonna read up on those cards, right? And that's just how new players will do it in our game.
Yeah, and to take it a step further, I think Bandai solved it. I think that's why they're making so much archetype-based decks because those cards that are just staples, as a new player, trust me, you're gonna know. It's gonna be like, oh, stop! I know this card. Oh, that dinner's hitting him. I seen that one. I seen that run 120 times. That dinner is hitting, boys. That dinner has took off. But anyways.
Oh
But
man!
anyway, like I'm saying, those players are gonna know the dark holes and stuff. It's because it's gonna be staple. Blue players are gonna know you gotta play D Magic, even though it's not in the newer sets. Um, let's see. I don't know. Yellow players are gonna know the power of riposte and stuff, and Vegito, which I think Vegito is like slowly overtaking riposte. But that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I think to end the conversation on Fusion Worlds versus it's not really versus Master. It's just the introduction of Fusion World. I think it's great for the game. It just it's another way to promote the game, right? And now you have us to actually help promote it. Because back then it was just, hey, the card game's coming out. You heard of it? No. How'd you hear of it? I was just playing card games I see in my local shop. Oh, great! But now they can actually promote, do all this good stuff, and then hey, it's a leeway into our game, which I think is just great.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
I thought that dinner was hitting you, Legends. The way you ran, I'm like, I've seen that run 120 times in my life. That was that grab your battle buddy and run kind of run. But going on.
I mean, there's a good point to point out too. Is I didn't think about this, but I'm reading right now the thing of what you guys are talking about. That Legends kind of brought up. This is apparently the highest attendance we've ever had for Gen Con for Dragon Ball when you combine the two. And so, we have some good news. Like, I didn't think about that from perspective of even at the height, we weren't this popular, and then now we're getting more people than we ever did.
I believe it, but I don't believe it because Gen Con always sells out. You just give it a number, it's just gonna sell out, bro. It is what it is because you put that number on it. So, really, really interesting. But we say the best topic for last, Gen Con. How do you guys felt it went?
I'll go last.
Three of you guys went, right? Well, obviously, both Robbies, went, right?
Jared and I stayed home. It sounds like Robbie and Mike went,
Okay.
so we're kind of split.
Did you guys do Gen Con online, or did you guys just chilled?
Yeah, so
I
Jared
did
did online.
Okay.
Check online. I got
Judged online.
phys-
So
Oh, you
Yeah.
say you judge?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was judged online. Jared, why don't you share your experience first?
Uh, yeah, it's just a webcam. Ran like any other webcam, to be honest. It was fine. Pretty excited about the pricing though. You get like it was pretty cool that you get like the One Piece card, the Digimon, and the battle spirits and all that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, hopefully you get that because we didn't get that in person.
What?
You didn't get that?
Really?
No, I never
Drop,
got
or
that.
like you just didn't get it?
Oh, we got it for Zenkai. We didn't get it for main event.
Yeah,
Kidding.
and I couldn't. I was playing Lorcana in the finals, so I didn't get to. They wouldn't let somebody else redeem my ticket, so I just got
Oh, I see.
The shot.
Wait,
nagged.
so you didn't get one for the main event, Legends? Just for the Zenkai?
No, yeah, just for Zenkai.
Was it not listed on when
Oh,
you
gotcha.
get it, or like you guys just didn't get it?
They ran out because they didn't do a very good job of policing people just like being silly, and so
Just
all you got to
signing
do
up
is
and
show
grabbing
them.
it and dropping, pretty much.
So, well, no. So what you could do was, I mean, Gen Con's kind of like it's always a blast.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things about Gen Con is you can make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
This year I made a ton of money with Lorcana, so I did that. But what you could do is just also every game will be like, hey, fill out this survey, we'll give you a card. So all you do is you do the survey, you screenshot it, and you show it to them. Then you walk around for 5 seconds, you come back, you show them the survey. You walk around, and somebody had done it. Yep, somebody had done it 50 times, for example, by the time I had like showed up. And they were like, hey, you want some of these? And it was just a stack of like 50 of them. And then they realized that they needed to like take people's badge numbers or do something. But every game has it. It's not like Bandai did that themselves. They were the only ones who like fell for the scam. Like every game has that happen every year, just because people like free stuff. And Gen Con is super expensive to attend. I think you're out about $1,500 just to attend as an average, I'd say.
Damn, that's rough.
But it's amazing. I mean, it's an amazing time. Like I didn't do well in anything. I went 3-0 in Lorcana. I went 3-0 in One Piece, and then went 0-3. So like I thought I was gonna do well, and then I was like, all right, I'll just go enjoy the con. I did Dragon Ball, and immediately in my second round lost on time, and I was like, well, there's no gold card. The rest of this doesn't really matter as much.
Pretty
And then proceeded to play Android 21 and just lose like constantly. Like that match felt. I thought I had figured it out, and I won 2 out of the 4 I played, but that is not a good ratio. But it was fun. Like that's the part I like about Gen Con is it doesn't now feel like it's just about the grind or just playing in an event. It feels different. Like there's other stuff to do. Michael was nice enough to get us some tickets to go play in a weird version of Werewolf. So we went and did that on Saturday night, and it was a good time. We all did pretty good at it. And then Sunday I got to play more Lorcana and pulled a like $1,000 card during the tournament, which is like that's the part for me where I'm always blown away with it. Yeah, like I pulled
Out the booster
Tinkerbell.
box, was it a prize card?
Yeah, no, that was so that's like that's the part that blew me away is the hype of a game that's so simple because the IP is strong. Like people just want the alt arts, but they want to play something simple and like people want Tinkerbell to put in their deck. Like it's not just like they want to have it, and she's only one per case, so she's not quite like a god rare. She's more like an SER, but it's hard to get that much product, you know. And I'm sure she's gone down in price by now. But just the like, I just did the live. I think on average people were buying uncommons for like $10 for a foil just to get it in hand because they don't want the regular like. And they had the option of buying commons on commons for like nothing. They knew they were overpaying for foils, and that's where I could see the excitement is if you get more IPs with you see people with heroes and stuff. Like Gen Con showed me that Bandai can do a better job with Dragon Ball, and they're gonna try. So like I just feel good about the market. I started buying again, and it was just a good time. Had some good Indian food, no complaints. Got to see Legends here win with a 15K battle card.
Oh, can't wait to hear it.
That's a perfect segue to Legends Gen Con story. But you got to start off with that 15K win, bro.
No, it's just like there's a lot of I don't know. You'll see on my deck list whenever Eddie reveals that deck profile. The deck is a lot more aggressive than it was before. Now it has a lot more 15Ks. It's not much to talk about there. Plus, I don't like to kick people when they're down. But I'll talk about Gen Con. The Gen Con was fun. I love that Bandai only had 2 events this year for Dragon Ball. And I love that because I personally like Gen Con. Like, I like being able to go explore, play the board games. And I'm not alone in this, right? Like, obviously, there are people that just attend for the Saturday and the Sunday. And that they probably like this too, because now they didn't have to, like, get days off of work just to compete in the other events, right? So that part was awesome. I got to stay out with my friends, and we got to make a whole weekend out of it. And it's just like a vacation for us. As for the Gen Con event, as always, it's held just spectacularly. Like we get to play in the Lucas Oil Stadium, which is awesome if you're a sports fan. That feeling, there's like nothing like it, right? Like you just get to sit down in there, and then the meta has changed, like as always. Like Robbie witnessed, it's a slower game. People realize that Gohan can't be as fast anymore into 21, and into like the swath is yellow out there, so like every deck is slower. Gohan, the ones that were successful were playing like a much heavier hand control package. They were playing like the King Vegeta Unison to make sure they can start knocking cards out of people's hands. And in a way that like people couldn't respond with Deborah, right? Like even that Goku promo is kind of fallen out of favor. People instead are using like the Cells Kamehameha because they can rip a card out of hand, maybe not hit Deborah. They're using that King Vegeta, like I said, hits a random card. Like that's super big. Um, 21 was 21. Uh, that deck needs to evolve desperately. I faced like 9 this weekend, and it was the same result. It was just like that deck was cool, is cool. People need to figure out something new, and I don't know what it is, right? So that was really cool. It was cool to see a bunch of different yellow tricks around. There was yellow everywhere. Besides Golden, there and Majin, there were also swap decks, uh, and there was a Trunks Cheetah running around if memory serves, right? And so like yellow has a bunch of tools, and that's something you just got to think about now going into events. But obviously, I was excited about Gen Con. I was dialed in. I put a ton of effort into reading this meta and making sure my deck was like fit for it, and obviously it paid off day one. And I missed day two by a couple misplays, like the Zenkai Cup. But all in all, it was an awesome event. And like
Did you play with the Vulture for that or no?
no, I couldn't put together a side deck. I wanted to,
Hmm.
but that
Oh.
deck's
We're
it's
both
impossible.
events are best of one pre-side, right?
Yeah, best of one free side.
I like that. I mean, that format's pretty great, by the way. I hope,
It's
like,
really good.
Push for that.
I'll be honest. I would be okay if they figure out a way to have enough rounds. I have no complaints for that format for nationals. Like, it was quite fun.
The best of
I
one
like best
pre-side.
of one free side. Yeah, and then
That's
if
pretty
you
cool.
do a top cut, make that the
AK
best
best
of
of
three.
three. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah, it's just like the ability to complete 8 rounds within 6 hours
Mhm.
is just incredible. Like that, there's no better feeling. And then like if you expect your players to have the stamina to complete the top 8 in that same day, like you theoretically could. Right? So like, not that I'm like voting for that, but like you could. And I think that's such a good thing.
In that regard, do you think it's appropriate for a best of one tournament to add extra rounds so that way it's not stop after a one undefeated, but extra rounds to take over to help assist variance on die roll? Like,
No,
Nah, I
not at
don't
least
think
for
you
me. I
fuck
don't
with
know.
that.
I think right now we're all at 1-1 because Jared's not talking with his like
Yeah.
6 regional wins. But like I don't think you change the variance of like we all went undefeated to win our regionals this year, right? Like we all had something that was very broken that made it that way, right? Like I had the loop combo. You had every control tool possible, and Jared, how many times did you win with Gamma? Just like you mastered that, right? So you add another round, you're not going to change the person who has the best build. And I think with 8 rounds undefeated, I don't think someone gets to first place by being lucky. Sure, there might be 1 or 2 matches where you're like, okay, you did win the dice roll and that was relevant. It definitely hurt game 2 against that Gohan SH deck. Like I felt going second was harder. But yeah, I think you're fine. I mean, 8 rounds is a lot of rounds. Like obviously, I don't like that Bandai removed the 10 round rule because now their manual says you only do 9 rounds for Dragon Ball and you never go above that. But if we did best of one, I think 10 rounds for a 500-person nationals, we could get done at a reasonable hour and then cut the top 32 again.
Yeah. Plus, like to that point, I am a big proponent that the die roll doesn't matter in this game. I think if you've played most decks, short of like being an aggro deck, I think if you play like a hyper aggro deck, I think if you play most decks, you should learn how to play your deck from going first and going second anyway. And those games look like just drastically different, right? So like, I think that's somebody everybody should train for anyway to begin with.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, let's start our closing thoughts because it is 10:30, guys. Sheesh,
Fair
time was
enough.
flying. Who wants to start us off, man? Closing thoughts.
Fusion World's awesome. I think it's good for the game. Gen Con was awesome. I'm excited to play this, dude.
You gotta put him
So
closer
hyped
to
to
the
play
camera,
this.
bro.
Oh,
That thing's too
Bro,
shiny,
look
bro.
at
You just see a
nice.
glare.
even
You just see a glare of gold,
I'm
bro.
so excited to play this deck, bro. You have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. Super great, guys. I really want people to come out to these events more. It's super fun hanging out. Like even for all the people I get to meet at these events, and a lot of people are like the people who aren't shy come up and say hi, and like we just have those little conversations. And for if you guys get to see this video, those conversations like are what make these regionals so much fun. Like these in-person regionals, right? Like I get to meet people and get your perspective on the game, and I love that. So that's it.
Yeah, I agree, and it's kind of like what Robbie said. Like we forget sometimes that this is like a card game, and we're doing this for fun, right? And just to just go right with you, Mike, on that. Just like it's the experience, right? Of course, we want to win and compete. We travel, and we do all that stuff, but I would hope that people will take the time to go out and travel to regionals just to meet people. It's so important, especially in today's day and age, just to meet people in person, to have that interaction is so great. I agree. Fusion Worlds is going to be a good plus for our game, and I'm really excited for this next set. I know no one here seems to have looked at the new cards, but I think there's going to be some really cool things. So I'm excited for previews and just for the future of the game. I think it's going to be really positive. So looking forward to it.
I wish I could take a screenshot of Robbie's face,
Yeah.
his excitement, and the ban list comes out, and then his face there. And I'm like, that's exactly why we don't look at new cards before the ban list comes
I'm
out,
so
man.
ready. I love Endless Day. I love it, but I look at it like a
And he's gonna be like,
right. So
ah! Or like you're gonna the band of Eratus is gonna come down all the cards you've been practicing hours for, and it's like, ah! I'm telling you, man, that's bad practice, man. The way this game is built, I just think it's bad practice to play those new cards before, like, not even the set continues to drop, like, before the actual ban list. Like, the ban list could drop first, and that errata list is just like, yeah, all that stuff you're doing doesn't work, bro. Like,
to be fair,
I
like
gotta admit, I really hope we get something. I guess that'd be my final thought. Is like that's what I'm looking for now. Is I want to see like what like I was trying to play with the Brawly Surge today and like trying to figure out how to make it broken with all the new pieces and like
It's
my
good.
brain melted. But like yeah, like I really want the. I'm excited for the possibility of playing in a regional like day one of the new set. You know, like that. I really hope they don't screw up because I always hate when they be like, hey, because of X and Y, we're not gonna let you play with the new cards for the new regional, and that'll be so boring if it's just Gen Con 2.0, right? I'll probably just be like, hey, Michael, can you make me a copy of your deck? And I'll just be bored the whole time. I already booked my flight. I don't have a choice. But it'd
next
be
one
really
is what?
cool.
It's not South Carolina. It's
Tennessee.
Tennessee. The
Tennessee.
same place,
September
right? Same
9th.
place.
Same place. Yeah.
Same place.
I just booked my flight today. Puna and me were talking about it, and we were like, you know, let's just do it. Let's just go. And so I made sure I didn't have anything going on, and flights are direct, so why not? Like it's like $150 flight or something with Southwest.
Pretty good.
So
Yeah.
like, and that's nice. Like, I mean, even if you don't do well, $150. Like, I think that's what your point was already. Is I'm getting to that point. Like, I'm 38. I'm old. It's just fun to go and play and do a hobby, and then just hang out and just have a good time and less be about how much money can I make in a weekend. So it's taken me a very long time to not be a terrible person and realize it. So, but hey, get to the end of the bridge eventually, I guess.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I thought Jake Online was super fun. I'm very hopeful for Fusion Worlds. It'd be cool if we get some events for that as well, like just client games, and pretty excited to play it, to be honest. Just grinding on it. Hopefully we get good pricing for Masters so that we could actually funnel players into the game. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Cool. Well, my my final thoughts are: number one, I'm proud of all you guys for doing all the success you guys had this season. You guys made me proud because I've been MIA most of the season, but I'm finally free now. I will. I don't know about Tennessee, but I will be at South Carolina, and you guys gotta let me know if you're going there, so I can just get us a place so we could all chill together. Um,
When's that one?
South Carolina is going to be the first weekend of October. You know what? This is a perfect segue to our commercial for PPG. All right, guys, if you guys have any time on your hands, go to ppgeventmanagement.com. You will go to this little beautiful Bandai TCG weekend, and it's not just Dragon Ball. It also has Digimon and One Piece. But at
Oh,
Greenville Convention Center, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
All right,
it's the
perfect,
card.
perfect. I got too carried away without actually making sure you guys can see my screen. So cool. We have this cool Dragon Ball card game regional at Greenville Convention Center, October 6th through 8th. Now, the cool thing about this event is Friday, not only is it check-in, but you also have side events on Friday and Sunday, with the main event being on Saturday. Now, this is a Bandai event, so expect these Bandai prizes. Make sure to sign up, make sure to go. And the beauty of it is there's no con badge required because this will be at a convention center itself. But you don't need a con badge. Really, really cool. Tickets are live, so you can go ahead and click this register here on the PPG event management page, and we will be sure to see you there. And guess what? If you guys want to attend this event, but on, I don't know, Sunday you may want to do another event, like I said, the other Bandai games, traditionally Digimon and One Piece, will also be there as well. And both those links are in the pre-reg link of the PPG event management page itself. Cool. Now back to our broadcast. Damn, that sounded like a nice, you know what I'm saying? Felt good. But anyways, like I said, guys, really proud of my boys for holding it down this season. It feels like every weekend there's an event. I'm like, all right, which one of you guys won? It's just, it's like I'm humbled to have these guys on the team to carry the load of just dominating the season. Really, really cool guys too. They don't, well, not that I know. I don't think they bully anyone. I'm pretty sure they're all helpful people, right, guys? Because you guys are the best. Been hearing, no, in all seriousness, I've been hearing nothing but good things from you guys. So I wanted to say I'm pretty, really, really proud of you guys. I will be there at South Carolina that October. I just looked at it, 6th, 7th, and 8th. I will be there. If you guys are going, let me know what's up so I can get you guys a place to stay as well. And guys, play Fusion Worlds. But as you play Fusion Worlds, do not discourage these newer players from playing. But play Fusion Worlds and help boost that game too. Because if you boost that game, it's gonna do all it's gonna do is good to boost our game as well, guys. Please, 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 do not dump on these new players coming in. Just explain the game to them, like as you would want us to explain it to you if we're sitting playing against you in Swiss or something like that. Like help them, and that'll in turn help us as a community grow itself. The only negative, I'll be straight with you guys, that's kind of unfortunate because a lot of people are gonna say we're just being all optimistic and all that good stuff. I'll tell you guys straight up. The only negative from the announcement that no one is hit is just the fact that this online app was supposed to take place of webcams. So right now, there is still no answer to a traditional online event that's not webcam. That I will give you kudos on. But no one actually says that. They just say it sucks, it's this, but you're completely wrong. Like this is gonna do nothing but help our game grow. Because it is gonna bring those newer players into the game and at least learn the basics of our game. So we can in turn just grow as a community itself. Other than that, I mean the game is fine guys. Like it's beautiful. There's a lot of cool interactions. One day I'm gonna make a video just explaining counter windows and it'll all be good guys. I'll just leave you guys like this. My last final word will be this. The first one, if they're paying energy for their card and they're playing it per their energy in a top yellow, dang, I don't have a Dragon Ball card around me. Hold on, guys. Oh, here we go right there. If they're playing this Chi-Chi card for this cost and they're paying this cost, there's counter window. There's only one counter window, guys. But they're like, yo, I'm a cool card. You know what I'm saying? You see, I'm Chi-Chi. I don't need to pay this one cost. Now they're trying to play this card by not paying this one cost by doing something special down here that says if you have X card, play this for free or play this in rest mode. So that's not paying this cost right now. There are two counter windows. And I think the thing, I'm going to go more into this when I make the video. The thing that gets people on a counter window, it's not the counter windows itself. It's the players playing the cards when there's two counter windows because they straight play them. That's not how you play a card if you have a first counter window. If you have a card that has two counter windows, you reveal the card. The card is not in play yet, and that's what's catching people off guard because they slam it down and they continue playing, not realizing your opponent could answer in counter window one, like how Legend said it in his video when you're playing how he farms Green Gohan. Because you're trying to play your Vegeta or you're trying to play something, I don't know, like your 8-drop Goku Gohan, you're trying to play and just go. When he says, hey, I'm a Vegeta counter window one, no, you're not, I'm a focus breakthrough, and then cool, counter window two, I'm gonna do another Vegeta. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that. There's two counter windows. So once an opponent understands that, hey, I'm not paying the skill, reveal the card instead of playing it, that's going to help us in turn grow as players and realize, hey, look, it's still in his hand, it's not in play yet, this is counter window one. Because once it hits the field, technically speaking, it's counter window two. So I'm gonna go in depth on that. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed my little nonsense voices when I'm doing this. It helps you guys remember because you're like Eddie with his silly stupid voices. But guess what? You remember those silly stupid voices next time you play online. You'll say, "Hey, stop it! That's not in play yet. Pick that card up and put it in your hand." And that's exactly what you should tell your opponents because it's counter window one and it's not in play yet. Because if it's in play and then you do something counter window two, a lot of these counter plays don't work the way you think they work, buddy. And that's where the problem is coming in this game. So if you want to learn about those interactions, stay tuned for that video that comes out. Gonna be called, we're just gonna call it the counter window party. That's what we're gonna title it. We'll find a beautiful thumbnail for that video. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, my guys, for joining, and we will see you guys next time. I guess I can read the last comments. Pac-Man said, heck yeah, seeing the homies in the community is the best part. And Shady Tree says, why you bully me? No one's going to bully you, my friend. We're just going to teach. So, hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you guys next time. Alright, who wants to play test? I have like 3 games in before I pass out.
I'm going to bed.
Damn, just like that.
If I drove in this